I found a chart that is predicting what is going to happen with Bitcoin, and it has never been wrong. Also, guys, we are going to have a look at whether altcoin season is still in play in the next coming months ahead. And I got some very interesting information at the end of this video for the narrative that is being set for next week. You definitely don't want to fade this. Guys, let's jump straight into it. And the chart that is so interesting, guys, is the global M2 money supply. And we have, of course, the United States Federal Reserve money supply, which basically means the amount of dollars that are in circulation. But of course, this is also happening on a global scale. United States is not the only country. So when we overlay that on the price of Bitcoin, guys, then you can see a very clear color correlation, but it's getting even more interesting because I actually did something to this chart that it is fitting with Bitcoin. There is a delay with this signal generally, but I just first want to show the correlation right here. That every time we are seeing the money supply going up, we are seeing Bitcoin going up. And when the money supply is going down, Bitcoin is going down, correcting. But it is not really going up until the money supply is increasing again. So we can definitely see a correlation here between the increase of money supply and the amount of risk that is being taken. Now, I'm going to offset this, guys, because there's like a delay of 90 days within this thing. So if we just look at this normally, then we can see that, for example, the money supply increases in June 2024, and then roughly 90 days later, we will get that price action being reflected in the Bitcoin price. So if we were to overlay the same delay that we are seeing, like generally, because it does sometimes change now and then. So sometimes it is maybe 80 days, sometimes it's 19 days, sometimes it's 70 days. But then we should go up definitely around starting maybe around the end of March and the half of April. That is where things could accelerate. But I actually think it actually can happen earlier. But this indicator has never been wrong. And guys, if you want to catch this long on Bitcoin, if you want to trade, I'm recommending Bitunix exchange. This is an exchange that you can use without any VPN or any KYC. If you join with the affiliate link down below, you support the channel, you'll get some extra benefits as well. Definitely a good exchange to trade with. Then guys, we go to the next piece of information, and that is retail Bitcoin holders with balances under 1 Bitcoin are selling off their coins, mirroring the capitulation pattern seen in late 2020. And this is a very interesting chart, to be honest. And why is this so interesting, guys? Because retail doesn't really sell generally at the good moments, in the good periods. So when retail is selling off, it often is a trap for retail, because retail is the biggest group of market participants that most of the time are at the wrong side of the equation, right? And like I said in my previous videos as well, guys, I heard from many people that they are starting to sell. Well, if I heard many people that actually sold, then most of the time these people are not on the right side of the equation. And especially, guys, when I'm looking at all these indicators, for example, right now with the money supply, but also another thing that I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, which is very interesting, and most people are probably not anticipating that. But yeah, I barely see that I see, for example, in my environment, a lot of retail investors, they are selling, and then suddenly they are all making the right decision. I barely see that, to be honest. Then we go to this chart, guys. This chart is very interesting because this is the altcoin market chart. It's the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. And this is really taking a step back, because what can we see here if we look at the technical structure? Well, we had here like somewhat of a triangle formation. This one is a little bit weird. Maybe this was different than a triangle formation, but there was some form of consolidation, some pattern forming, eventually pattern breaking out, and we get this acceleration phase. And what we can see right now is we have kind of a pattern, we have kind of a triangle formation. We came to the resistance, we had a small U-shaped recovery from the resistance, then we broke the resistance, we had some acceleration, right? Tapping the previous high, but didn't create a new all-time high yet. Then we had quite a massive correction right here, but still above the previous resistance. So from a macro standpoint, guys, this is very bullish. This is just a pattern breaking out, right now testing the resistance with a chance to make new rallies. And this is what bothers me a little bit, because we have many people being bearish, talking about a bear market. Those many people are most of the time retail investors, which are not at the right side of the equation. While we have this chart basically pretty bullish, showing us a very good buying opportunity historically. And yeah, of course, if this would break down back into this pattern, of course, the standpoint will change. But so far, this can be a very clean pattern where we just have a triangle formation breakout and we get a continuational move to the upside, right? Is the narrative lining up as well? Well, guys, there is a narrative coming up that is going to be important, and that is on Wednesday. The Federal Reserve is meeting on interest week next week. Here's how we think savings and CD rates will react. The Federal Reserve will announce an interest rate decision next Wednesday. So that's in a couple of days, guys. And it's nearly certain they hold rates steady once again. I don't really know if that's really certain. But what I do know is that a lot of things can happen around this date. And what we have seen with the crypto market cap, but also, and that might be even more important, guys, if we go to the S&P 500, right? We go to the S&P 500. That chart is actually shaking. That chart is free falling. As you can see, it has been correcting. It has been most likely dragging Bitcoin down with it. We had a drop from the top till the bottom of almost 10%. Could this be a reason that Jerome Powell is going to announce that we are going to see a rate cut, which would be very bullish for the markets in general? Or is he still going to wait until this dumps further before we are getting that rate cut? Or, well, honestly, I don't know, but we have definitely more reasons for a rate cut right now than we have in the previous meetings. So Trump has been very pushing on cutting these rates, and I definitely think the reasons right now are increasing. So that's something to take into consideration. I think a lot of investors will start to anticipate that rates are going to be cut. And if the rates are not going to be cut right now, definitely there might be a little bit more positive stance, or there might be some positive comments made on doing rate cuts in the near future, because this stock market with the rate cuts right now, guys, is not sustainable, and Jerome Powell knows this as well. The longer he keeps these rates at these levels right now, the more this thing is going to crash, and with every crash he is going to risk of getting a Great Depression type of crash, a bubble that will burst basically all the asset classes. So I don't think that they are going to do that, especially not since we haven't really got a blow off top yet. But yeah, maybe he does do that. But like I said, if we have a look at all the other signals, for example, at the Bitcoin, or the global money supply and Bitcoin, or we have a look at the altcoin chart, then I personally think that the markets are way overdue for a nice bounce at least, and the bounce has to come along with some form of narrative. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wednesday we hear that the rates are going to be cut, even though slightly, or maybe it's not going to be cut, but there will be some positive notes on that in the near future it will be cut, which will then investors will anticipate that and prices will go up. I believe, I'm going to stick with that, guys. I believe the prices are going to go up. There are too many signs out there that we are in for a bounce. And even though we could have entered a bear market, we first going to get a bounce. That is my opinion and my what I'm expecting in the markets as the most probable outcome. And how high that bounce is going to be, that is something we have to determine whenever that happens. But when we have a look at the money supply, guys, we have seen quite a significant increase in the global money supply. and that definitely accounts for something that's going to happen in Bitcoin. Guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, smash up the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to trade, guys, make sure to check out Bitunix. I'm recommending free exchanges down below in the description. Bybit is the very best exchange. If you can do KYC verification, Bybit is the most liquid, and even after recent hack, Bybit came out very strong, very trustworthy. Bybit is definitely my go-to exchange where I have most of my funds. The problem with Bybit is you cannot have all the services in every country. So I'm living in the Netherlands. You cannot do, for example, like copy trading or leverage trading. You need different exchanges for that. Bitunix is the solution to that, or the Femix platform. They both don't require you to do any KYC, and they offer other services like leverage trading and so on, if you are interested in that, because that's definitely for the more experienced trader. So guys, check them out in the comment section down below, as you will get a bonus and some advantages if you sign up with the affiliate link and you support the channel. Then guys, I want to wish every single one of you a beautiful Sunday, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.